Check your mic now, brother. How's your mic working?
Is it working better now?
Oh, beautiful, man. Damn, beautiful. Now it's working.
So yeah, I had a question. I was really struck by your the discussion you had on the Seder, the Jewish
Yeah,
Passover
yeah,
Seder.
Trinity. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've never in the Trinity and that amazed me. But what I was had a question about is when Christ died, he gave up his spirit. Was he still God?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean. Was he still God? What do you mean?
Well, I was just thinking, as I was always, I've always been taught, which I'm not sure whether it's wrong. That's why I had the question, that
That's
he died as both God and man.
yeah. Well, when you say died as both God and man, meaning the God man died, but he died a human death, right?
A human death, yeah,
Yeah, because we don't talk about like if you die, we don't say, "Oh, your human nature died," right? Or your body died. We say you died, right?
true.
But when I say you died, in one sense, if you're not what they call, well, yeah, anyway, I'm not going to get technical. If you believe what the Bible teaches and the ancient Christians taught, that you have a soul created by the Spirit, that the Spirit uses to animate your body. And then when your soul or your spirit leaves your body, that's when your body dies and returns to the ground. So if I say, hey, this dude died, what I really mean is that his body died because the soul, that animated body, left his body and you're still alive and conscious as a soul.
Yeah, because I was
And
just
you
when
say,
the Seder is broken and they put
yeah,
one half back
that's
into
the
the
body.
bag.
Yeah,
Yeah, they put
that's
one
the
half
body.
back into the bag, don't they?
Say it again.
When they put the one half back into the bag, is that say
Yes.
well? Because when it said Christ gave up his spirit, they went back to God.
Yeah, you're trying to take the example of the cedar and trying to find
Oh,
every. I'm waiting
sorry,
for
yeah.
the.
Well, I just that just it just changed my mindset. I wasn't trying to take it literally. I just thought, well, maybe I had that wrong.
No, because when you said that one part was put in the bag and the other part was hidden, yes, but then it reappears. Well, you have to break one of the matzah in order to then hide one and then make it reappear. But you can't reattach it, can you?
True.
Okay, so this is just the
It's a representation.
limitations of what we can do. As a human, if I break a bread, I can't put it back together. God can do it, but I can't. So obviously, I'm limited in how much of the analogy I can press to point to the Trinity. The question is when Christ died, when we say he died a human death because that's the only kind of death he could die, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But what does it mean he died a human death? It means that that human soul that was united to his person, that he used to animate his body, left his body, but he's still conscious and alive because as his body is in the tomb, that human soul that is united to his person, because now that divine person, right, is experiencing human life. So he's now consciously alive through that human soul that is his. And in that human soul, he goes to the underworld, proclaims victory, and then through that human soul that is his, he then re enters the body and animates it.
That makes sense.
Because as God, he's ever living, never ceases to exist. But in relation to his human nature, being a man, remember, even humans die without ceasing to exist. So I die and my spirit leaves, my soul,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
alive. But I'm now separated,
Yep.
right? Because I'm no longer a unified man. Because to be truly human, a whole human, a unified human, you must be soul and body together, right?
Yep.
Death is a disruption to the human race. God did not create humans to live as souls without bodies. He created humans to be souls that live in physical bodies. That's how he created Adam, right?
That's very interesting. I've never thought of
That's
that
it. That's
really.
here, right? When he created him, right here, it's right here. It says he created him from dust, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But then he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, And that dust now became a living, animated soul, a living soul. So that means a spirit came, produced in that dust a human soul that the spirit now uses to animate your body of dust. But when you die, that's when the spirit takes your soul out of your body and your body returns to dust. That's what Genesis 3:17-19 says.
Yeah, that's the vessel. Right. Yeah, that
Right?
makes a whole lot more sense.
So when Christ dies that human death, that means his human soul leaves his body. The human soul that's now united to his person. So Christ, the divine person, is now living and experiencing human life. So he's now united himself to a human soul, and he's living through that human soul a human life. So then he leaves, meaning his human soul leaves, united to his person, goes to the underworld. Then he returns with his human soul into that body. But because he's God, as he's in the netherworld via his human soul, he's still the one sustaining and preserving his body in the grave. Because as God, he's ever present, right? And
Yep.
he's overseeing and sustaining every part of creation, including his body. He's preserving his body in the tomb.
Very interesting.
Because what is death? Here it is. Disruption of human life. Because God created humans to be souls living in bodies, animating bodies, and experiencing reality, creation, and God through that human body. That the soul is animating. But what does he say? Verse 19. By the sweat of your face you will eat bread, till you return to the ground, because from it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return. But that's not what God intended for humanity, right?
Interesting.
Why do we die? Because of sin.
Yeah. It's
And
a
what is
penalty.
physical death? Your soul leaving your body, your spirit. Now I say soul, you can also say spirit. So let me give you some more scriptural passages to confirm this. You ready? All right, let me show you. Okay, here you go. Ecclesiastes 12:7. Everyone getting it? I'm trying to make it as clear as I can. May the Spirit save me from error. Here you go. Then the dust will return to the earth it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave
God
it.
who gave it. Yep.
So your body is dust, so it returns to dust, right? But the spirit that animated your body goes back to God, who created that spirit to animate your body.
Yep.
So now let's go to another passage. Right? If he should set his heart on it, if he should gather to himself his spirit and his breath, all flesh would breathe its last together, and man would return to dust. So what's animating your dust, that body? The spirit that God created in you, which is being sustained by the Holy Spirit. But once the Holy Spirit summons your spirit out of your body returns to dust.
Yep. Very interesting.
Now, let me give you examples of people. Why do they die? Because their spirit left their body. Ready? Or their soul left their body. Soul, spirit, you can use it interchangeably. Here, let me show you there. You ready? All right. James 2:26. Why do we die physically? For just as the body without the spirit is dead. Can your body be animate and alive if your spirit is not in your body?
Nope.
Exactly. So why does your body die? Because your spirit leaves. That means I can say you died and was buried. But then I can say you're alive in heaven. Both would be true, right?
Yep.
But now it says, well, hold on. How can he be alive in heaven if he's dead? Because his body is dead and his spirit
His
is alive.
spirit is alive. Yeah.
But we don't need to get that technical. I can say, hey, my mom's in heaven. But
True.
my mom is buried in Montrose Cemetery. But wait, I thought you told me she's in heaven. How's she in both places? Yeah, because a part of her is buried and a part of her is alive.
Yep. So when it says when he said on the cross, into my hands I commit
Into your hands I commit my
my
spirit. Yep.
spirit. Yeah, he wasn't giving up his divinity. That's what I was.
He was no. What it means is that human spirit that is animating his body will now leave his body.
Leave his body. Yeah.
And
right.
union with that spirit that's united to him, he will now go into the underworld.
Got it.
Right?
Yep. Makes
Here's
a lot
another
more sense.
example. what death is. Jairus' daughter was dead. Luke 8, 54, 55.
Yep.
He, however, took her by the hand, called, saying, Child, arise. Now, notice why she awoke from death. Her body awoke. And her spirit returned.
Yep, I never saw that.
And then she stood up immediately, and he gave orders for something to be given to her to eat. So why did her body die? Because the spirit left.
Spirit left.
Why did her body awaken? Because the spirit entered her body.